2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter.
These raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami that happened last Monday, from what we're hearing and seeing on social media, all the social media platforms, people seem to be coming out of the woodwork. Now, up until pre-Monday, the raids, he had 5 civil lawsuits.
It's not looking that great. Right now, I know that he has higher-powered attorneys, and with all these allegations that are coming out against him and against other people, a lot of people are starting to be very nervous about what's going on. People are starting to make threats towards 50, and Diddy is starting to go back, and this is how it starts in hip-hop. It starts right on social media, and then it goes into the streets.
Grab your popcorn, folks, because Diddy's house of cards has just started to fall. Although many of you might have anticipated this, Diddy certainly didn't. Now that almost the entirety of Hollywood is trying to steer clear of Diddy, he started accusing his close friend and partner in crime, Jay-Z, as the one who ratted him out. Those are some crazy allegations, right? What are the odds that Jay is the actual criminal mastermind behind all the shady stuff that goes on behind the dark curtains of the hip-hop industry?
What Jay-Z's been doing as compared to what Puff's been doing. Because if you think that Puffy was bad, maybe you need a little bit of a wake-up call as to what Jay-Z had been doing, which is what? Child, maybe even trafficking. We have a bunch of these artists that made it to fame by signing with Jay-Z.
All right, y'all, let's talk about what's been going down with Diddy this past week. It's been straight-up chaotic, no doubt. Here's the deal. Federal Homeland Security agents hit up 2 of Sean Diddy Combs' properties in Los Angeles and Miami as part of an ongoing investigation into some serious allegations. We're talking about some heavy stuff here. Now, Aaron Dyer, Combs' attorney, came through with a statement trying to clear the air. He basically said, "Hold up, before y'all jump to conclusions, let's pump the brakes." He argued that all the talk about these raids was just jumping the gun on judging Mr. Combs. According to him, the way these searches went down was straight-up hostile, like some military-level operation. He claimed that Combs' employees and family got hit with some harsh treatment for no good reason. Dyer wasn't stopping there, though. He was out here trying to scrub Diddy's name clean as a whistle. He was like, "Look, my client ain't having none of this. He's innocent until proven guilty, so don't be coming at him with all this hostility." You've got to give it to Dyer. He's out here trying to do damage control and keep Diddy's rep as intact as possible. Mr. Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Amidst these tough times, Suge Knight, who is also behind bars, alleged that since Diddy's so-called leverage is in the hands of authorities, many people will try to take him down one way or another to stop him from bringing them down.
Here is Suge Knight from prison talking about Diddy.
I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger. Because you know the secrets. Who's involved in that little secret room you guys participate in?
Here's Suge Knight from prison talking about Diddy. I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets. Who's involved, that little secret room you guys participating in? Suge also claimed that he has been working on a documentary about his life, where he will be exposing his story, leaving no stone unturned. He even hinted that he might have some key information about the accident that led him into a coma. Looks like Diddy's going to have to face the music real soon, as people are actively coming out of the woodwork to recount their experiences with him. One of them is Tanika Ray, a TV host who once worked with Diddy as a backup singer. She claimed that she had a tumultuous experience while working under the rapper, so much so that she actively avoided him. In her social media post, she said that she knew she had to avoid Diddy at all costs, even if she was dancing for him. She revealed that although she was included in administrative responsibilities, she still kept her space, hinting that the present storm was allegedly nothing compared to what she had witnessed. Remember how Lil Rod claimed in his lawsuit that Diddy used to boast about getting away with using firearms during an altercation in 1999? Well, the victim has come forward to set the record straight, alleging that P. Diddy Combs was the actual perpetrator behind a 1999 New York club shooting. You might remember that incident resulted in rapper Shyne being convicted, while Combs was let off scot-free. She boldly revealed that Diddy hit her in the face during the infamous club incident, but he supposedly used his influence and financial resources to manipulate the situation in his favor, ensuring his acquittal and leaving Shyne to rot in prison for a decade. But here's the thing. Mark Curry, who was signed to Diddy's label, explained that as soon as Shyne was released, Diddy allegedly had him deported in fear of the truth coming to light.
If he would have came home and told the truth, it would have incriminated Puff. If he would have came home and stepped foot on the United States soil after doing that time for shooting that person, or whatever he was doing, shooting in the air, he was shooting in the air. Whatever he was there, he would have came home and told the truth about that night. Like even after doing time.
So here's the deal. Ever since these allegations came out, fans have been combing through Diddy's past with a fine-tooth comb, trying to piece together any clues about these serious allegations. Now let's rewind a few years back when Diddy and a young Justin Bieber were kicking it together, making some music and having a good time. There's this footage from that time where Justin was hanging out with Diddy for a solid 48 hours. What's got everyone's eyebrows raised is the fact that Diddy straight up gave Justin a car. And let me remind y'all, Justin was underage at the time. Now we all know how things work in Hollywood, right? Ain't nothing just handed out for free. So when Diddy dropped these lines, the internet went wild. Where we hanging out and what we're doing we really can't disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Here's where things get even murkier. Some folks are raising serious questions about what might have been happening behind closed doors during those 48 hours that couldn't be captured on camera. There's this whole theory floating around that Justin might have been one of Diddy's alleged victims. I mean, think about it. After that encounter, Justin pretty much made a U-turn and avoided anything to do with Diddy like the plague. Now, if hanging out with Diddy was really as awesome as he made it seem, why the sudden ghosting? But wait, there's more. Fans couldn't help but notice that Diddy made a point of mentioning that he had custody of Justin during those 48 hours. It's like he was trying to establish this control, this authority, so nobody could question what went down during that time. And this ain't the first time we've heard about this kind of situation. Remember when Usher spent a whole year living under Diddy's roof? Yeah, same deal. Who knows what could have gone down during those days? And get this. Diddy had legal custody of Usher until he dropped his first album. Now, during an interview with Howard Stern, Diddy dropped this bombshell. I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it. I don't know if I could indulge in or understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. Amidst all the swirling rumors about Usher, Justin, and his infamous shenanigans, the situation took a serious turn when lawsuits started cropping up left and right. The floodgates opened when Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against him back in November. She dropped some heavy accusations, claiming he assaulted her in 2018, coerced her into carrying a firearm to intimidate her, and forced her into unwanted intimate encounters with his male staff. Diddy's legal team kicked into high gear, and they managed to swiftly handle the lawsuit within a day. But the legal storm didn't end there. 2 more lawsuits followed and they're still ongoing. However, none of these previous lawsuits packed quite the punch like the latest bomb from Rodney Jones. This lawsuit is significant for 2 major reasons. Firstly, it might finally shed some light on Diddy's mysterious orientation, and secondly, there's talk of video evidence capturing Diddy's actions. After Biggie's gone, Diddy's still milking his verses, making bank off his legacy. Jones alleged that he was subjected to unwanted advances by Diddy's associates and that he was coerced into engaging in relations with adult workers hired by Combs. He claimed to have worked for Combs from September 2022 to November 2023, during which time he endured harassment, coercion, and threats. Jones boldly stated that he possessed video and audio evidence of Diddy, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activities. To add more fuel to the fire, he also implicated Daphne Joy as one of the alleged adult workers. It's safe to say these lawsuits have turned into a chaotic mess. Game also entered the conversation, claiming that Diddy was actually a Fed informant. Though this is far-fetched to be true, fans have alleged that Diddy is facing a grand purge as he has allegedly exhausted his use.
That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes
as long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that, they'll let you go around and pay you.
Now fans claim that maybe Diddy had decided to throw people under the bus in order to save his own behind. It's possible Diddy took a plea deal in his singing. The higher-ups must be sweating. It's also possible he's saying, long ago and everything is sorted already. All scenarios lead to exposure. White hats in control, man. Let me tell you, tensions are sky high and 50 Cent's out here stirring the pot on social media once again. First, he was clowning on Diddy after Homeland Security paid him a visit out of the blue. But then 50 Cent didn't stop there. Oh no. He went and took a shot at Jay-Z, posting up a hilarious pic that looked like one of the missing person ads you see on milk cartons, but with Jay-Z's face on it. Caption. Well, it went something like, anybody seen J-Lo? Puff said he ain't answering his phone. Oh. Alright, let's break it down. Jay-Z and Diddy have been playing up this whole best buds act on camera. But the truth is their relationship's always been a bit off, you feel me? Now Diddy's been out there shouting from the rooftops about Jay being the only one Sean approved outside of his mama. But maybe there's more to that bond than meets the eye. Now y'all remember that whole East Coast West Coast beef that took out legends like Biggie and Tupac, right? Well, Jay-Z and Biggie had a real tight connection before all that drama unfolded. They go way back to Eli Whitney High School in Brooklyn, where they kicked it and formed a bond that carried on into their rap careers. By the time Jay-Z was gearing up to drop his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, Biggie was already a heavyweight in the game. In '96, Biggie was riding high off the success of Ready to Die and was cooking up his second album, Life After Death. So yeah, no denying it, Jay-Z was playing second fiddle to Biggie on so many levels during that time. Tensions were running high, especially between Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Records and Suge Knight's Death Row Records, where Biggie and Tupac were signed respectively. While Tupac and Biggie were caught up in their own feud, Jay-Z was also throwing some subtle shade at Tupac. But since Jay wasn't as big as them at the time, it seemed like the whole vibe was sour because of Biggie's moves. You catching my drift? Now, word on the street is that even though Biggie and Tupac were at each other's throats, they didn't necessarily hate each other. But the same can't be said for Jay-Z. Now, Irv Gotti spilled some tea on Fat Joe's Instagram live show, saying that Tupac's beef was sparked by Jay-Z's track Brooklyn's Finest. That's why Pac was dissing Jay, because of Brooklyn's Finest. If they have twins, she'd probably have 2 Pacs. Get it? 2 Pacs. And Jay's on the record with him, so now he's like, F you ain't no guy like me. F Jay-Z. Then he starts bombing on Jay. But before you know it, Tupac's gone in a drive-by shooting, and suddenly everyone's pointing fingers at Biggie. And where's G? Allegedly MIA. That's where. Same deal with Diddy. Once one of the biggest names in the game was out of the picture, rumors start flying. Remember what Keefe D said about Diddy throwing cash his way to set up that hit on Tupac? Yeah, it's messed up when you think about it. Those two ended up benefiting the most from Tupac's death. But with Biggie still around, he was still a threat to them. Then just 6 months later, Diddy convinces Biggie to hit up an afterparty after some award show, and tragically, Biggie meets the same fate in another drive-by shooting. Once the dust settles, people start noticing some shady stuff about Diddy, like how he wanted to ride in a different car from Biggie and how Biggie's ride had its tires marked. Makes you wonder, right? It's sickening to think Diddy and Jay-Z got away with it all. And then Jaguar Wright comes in, spilling the tea that even after Biggie's gone, Diddy's still milking his verses, making bank off his legacy.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died.
Jaguar dropped another bombshell, revealing that there was supposed to be an album dropping after Biggie's passing, but it never saw the light of day. She's claiming Diddy basically snatched up all of Biggie's material and built his whole career off it. So when you look back, Jay and Diddy played their cards just right to rise to where they are now. And let's not forget, Diddy and Jay-Z have had ties to multiple deaths over the years, but somehow it all gets swept under the rug. Now, considering Jay and Diddy had similar starts in their careers, it's likely they lent each other a hand along the way. And since they were running in the same circles, they probably knew more about each other than they let on. People think their relationship was more about keeping tabs on the enemy than actual friendship. Anonymous sources even suggest Jay-Z might have been a little green-eyed when it came to Diddy, seeing how well he was doing before all these lawsuits started popping up. Well, during an appearance on Viral Hip Hop News, Jaguar revealed that Jay-Z was actually much worse than Diddy. She explained that since Jay knew how to cover his tracks like a pro, no one knew his real face.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient.
Jaguar claimed that Jay has surrounded himself with an army of people who would take the fall if Jay-Z would ever get exposed. Where Diddy was trying to get around and rule people through fear, Jay allegedly took a different approach and created armor in advance to cushion his fall.
He's been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
You know, it's a real possibility that Jay-Z used Diddy as a bit of a shield too. I mean, with everyone pointing fingers at Diddy, nobody's really questioning Jay-Z, who's been with him for years. That's shady business, no doubt. Jaguar is dropping some serious truth bombs, saying it wasn't just Tupac and Biggie. She's claiming there were other names allegedly sacrificed by Jay-Z to climb that ladder. She says Jay-Z was brought into the scene by a talented rapper named Big L, but fate had other plans because Big L met an untimely end. And get this, Big L and Jaguar were supposedly an item at the time. Before he passed, he apparently spilled some beans to Jag about how Jay-Z was gunning for him. Sean Carter, I believe everything that Big L ever told me. He never lied to me. Lamont never lied to me. And the last time I was with him, he told me that you were going to try to unalive him. He told me not to trust you. Seems like Jay-Z's got a bottomless pit of schemes, right? Jag's dropping another bomb, saying Jay allegedly had someone take aim at Beanie Siegel's lungs to mess up his performances. Now, just to set the record straight, Beanie was on the rise back then. A real crowd pleaser, unlike Jay-Z, whose stage presence ain't exactly top-notch. Looking straight into the camera, Jag claims Big L warned her about Jay's shady ways, saying he had a knack for eyeing what others had and using all his connections to snatch it away. And she didn't stop there. I have no doubt in my mind that it was you who sent the shooter to shoot Beanie Siegel as soon as he got home. His mother was so terrified we had to show at the T. Back to the present. Jay-Z's been making headlines again, and it ain't pretty. There's this journalist stirring the pot on Twitter, claiming she was allegedly in touch with Jay-Z's side piece before she passed away. Word on the street is Queen Bey and this other woman were supposedly expecting at the same time, and Bey couldn't handle the jealousy. Liz Crow really kicked up a storm when she spilled the alleged truth about Kathy White's death. She says she got wind of Kathy through her boss, who wanted her to look into blog rumors about a woman named Kathy Coriana White supposedly hooking up with Jay-Z. This whole affair story first popped up on Hollywood Street King in an article titled, "Busted. Jay-Z Caught Cheating on Beyoncé with Kathy White," back in August 2010. Liz managed to track down Kathy at her job in New York and had a chat with her over the phone. She said, "Kathy expressed to me that she would consider going public with her story. Days later, I tried to reach her at work with no luck. I finally got a hold of one of her colleagues, and I asked her if she knew why Kathy had been MIA. Her colleague shockingly told me, she's dead." Previous reports claimed that the cause of demise was an aneurysm in the brain, which was pretty suspicious, as the rumors of an affair were sparked after Kathy and model Claudia Jordan were allegedly spotted at Las Vegas's Town nightclub, sitting at a table with Jay-Z and Puffy.
Claudia Jordan and Kathy White are two industry it girls around that time, so you could see the levels that she was on to be taking pictures of somebody like this in the early 2000s.
Now there's talk floating around that Diddy might have lent a helping hand to Jay-Z in covering up this whole mess. Some folks are digging deep, saying the autopsy report was tampered with, but as of yet nothing's been proven. Ever since things went down with law enforcement, Cassie Ventura, who reportedly welcomed destruction in Diddy's life with her lawsuit, was very pleased with the sudden development. In a statement she said, "We will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those that have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct." Additionally, Aubrey O'Day, who's been in the mix with Diddy throughout her career, notably as the lead of Donady Kane formed on Making the Band 3, has stepped forward. You might recall when Cassie initially filed her lawsuit, Aubrey O'Day was there in support. This time around she's taken to social media to react to the investigation against Diddy. She's saying Diddy's basically facing the consequences of his actions after blindsiding many artists and allegedly ending their careers in one fell swoop. She also hinted that she herself had some rough encounters with Diddy but didn't have the courage to speak up about them. As for 50 Cent and Diddy, they've been running in similar circles in the music industry for years, but their relationship's been rocky lately. About a month after the allegations against Diddy hit the headlines, 50 announced he was working on a documentary about the alleged assaults and planning to donate the proceeds to victims of SANR. But when the raid went down, 50 pretty much implied it was evidence of Diddy's guilt. He said, "Now it's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done. They don't come like that unless they got a case." The former talk show host Meghan McCain weighed in on the Diddy news by hinting that Cat Williams' interview might have other significant information that must be taken seriously. "We all really need to start listening to every single thing Cat Williams is saying," she said. Rapper Uncle Luke decided to throw in his 2 cents, claiming the government's trying to hush up Diddy. He's saying this ongoing federal investigation and raid are payback for Diddy suing Diageo, a multi-billion-dollar liquor company, for racial discrimination back in 2023. Uncle Luke reckons going after such a major corporation with all its media and top-level connections was bound to have consequences. But on the flip side, rapper Slim Thug had a different take. He's saying it's downright embarrassing for the whole African-American community when cases like this come out and black elites are caught up in the mix. According to him, it's strange seeing black folks celebrating Diddy's downfall. "Look at who is wishing this dude fail. This is our own people cheering and laughing, Diddy did it, and coming up with new slogans," he said. While some slammed the black community, incarcerated Suge Knight suggested a larger conspiracy theory. He noted that the raids weren't for Diddy. He alleged that Diddy was just a mere tool for exploiting other people. He said, the raids today weren't for Diddy. It was to destroy the incriminating stuff on powerful men. So what do you think? Was Jay-Z the one to spill the beans to the authorities? Or did something bigger happen behind the scenes? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any new videos. Until then, fam, keep it real.